I think I'm Big Meech. BMF season 1, totally phenomenal. Little Demetrius did such a phenomenal job as playing his father, Big Meech, Demetrius Flannery. And even Southwest T or just T Flannery, I think that's his son or nephew, something like that. But they're cousins. That's why I was telling myself, I'm like, really, and I thank 50 Cent for this because 50 understood it. He understood the magnitude around it. And I remember back then he was like, I'm gonna tell BMF story. And we were just like, okay, we're gonna see. But man, it was good. It was good. I really give props to Lil Demetrius just carrying the weight and trying to depict his dad as best he can. And he did a phenomenal job. His dad has a cunning tongue. This man can talk. This man was smart. And T, you could tell T was really, I didn't really know too much about T. T looks menacing if you look at him. He looks very menacing, but you could tell he's very smart. And it just, I knew Big Meech from the 2000 era, like probably like right after he got locked up. Like you heard it from Jeezy, you heard it from Slim Thug, but no one really understands how Big Meech influenced hip hop. So seeing his early rise in Detroit, this is something to behold because a lot of people don't know the story. Now, the thing about Big Meech, you didn't know that he lived in 2-parent household, mom and dad, brother and sister, but he was already in the game. So he was already controlling his own block and calling him the 50 Boys ever since he was young. So it was basically, he's always been a dope dealer. Terry's just kind of getting out of school and ends up getting shot. That's why his eye is the way it is. And I was always wondering like what happened. I thought he was born with it, but turns out he got shot and the doctor operated on him, didn't do right. So now his mom and dad is looking for a settlement check. And his dad, oh my gosh, man, this dude, I love him to death. I forgot the dude's name, but it was like, man, his dad was just on him. As any parent would, I feel like any parent would be that way with their kids, especially their sons, knowing that one of them is selling dope. And it's like, man, I can't control it. You ain't gonna listen to nobody. You don't, man. And it's like you just going down the wrong path. I didn't raise you to be that way. So you could tell his dad just had a hatred for Demetrius and really try to show a lot of love to Terry to be like, man, don't end up like him. But eventually Terry ends up being just like Demetrius, following Meech. And then you get introduced to a whole bunch of characters. One in particular is Lamar. Everybody loved Lamar. I feel like Lamar went viral when Lamar started singing. You can't stop the rain. I was like, man, this dude's a menacing, crazy ass old school gangster. Like, how those old school gangsters that was just in jail, in and out of jail in the 70s and 80s, just wilding, like just a crazy menace on the block. Happy that dude got locked up, but it's hell when he gets out. And had to go against Lamar. And Meech and Terry was just like, man, he was just always like, I want to shut them boys down. I want my spot back, all that. So they had to go through a lot with Lamar, and everybody kept telling myself, I'm like, is Lamar going to, go all the way through the season, which he eventually always does. And the walls was closing in from Lamar and Cash Doll. I forgot her name, but I love Cash Doll. She's a beautiful chick. Being Lamar's, kind of like little chick that he had, and ends up kind of getting back with her, but while he was away, Meech was with her. So that's why I was telling myself, I'm like, that was spawning a lot of things up. I can't stand this dude, all kind of things. So basically the whole season was just, them trying to go back and forth and Meech trying to really have that power struggle to move up. And at the time he was under, it was Pat, in the beginning you introduced Pat as Wood Harris. And they're under Pat. Pat was the one that taught him everything, taught him the dope game, taught him how to do everything. So they were successful. And Meech just like, I want more. I need more. We need more power. He was really outgrowing his position. And, of course that, a lot of people didn't like that, particularly Pat. And he was like, man, you better watch a step and all that. So it was, you seen the moves that they were made. And then T ends up finding another plug, which was a lady he didn't know. But the lady you could tell she's high up in business. She deals with art. So she's really moving that weight. So that's why I was telling myself, it puts him in another perspective. And on the flip side, you got B. Mickey, who's extremely loyal, and you got Kato, who you didn't really know about this chick. You know, you just knew that this chick was part of their crew, and it wasn't a lot of chicks in crews at the time, but they just had a heavy emphasis on her, and I was kind of telling myself why. And turns out she was working for Lamar the whole time, basically, because Lamar and her dad go way back. Well, Lamar took a charge. That's why he went to jail for her. So she basically owes Lamar. And it's like, man, whatever you want, I'm with Meech, you know. So basically getting info from him, trying to set up Meech. And she took the route of messing with B. Mickey, knowing that her rule was, I don't mess with nobody in the crew. But you end up starting messing with B. Mickey because B. Mickey's a loyal soldier, and he's the one that's enforcing everything. Like, he's basically that top enforcer. So she ends up messing with him, trying to get into his head. They all eventually find out that she's messing with Lamar. And that's why I said I love the season finale, because it just showed everything come to a head to see Meech's rise. And at the end, when Terry is really trying to get that settlement money from the doctor, you know, his dad is trying to show him, like, you know, you got a, baby mama and a kid, and they're all trying to tell you, like, look, this ain't the route to go down. You already got shot. You almost lost your life. You got a son. So it's basically, you need to really think about a lot of things. And he did, because he's in school. He's very smart. But just that life, that life is too enticing. You making money all day long. You got matching beamers like your brother Demetrius. It's a lot. And you could just tell that at the end, he was really like, I'm out. You could do what you want. Just leave me alone. He just left Meech alone. But Meech is trying to tell him, like, man, we're trying to celebrate. We just end up going to the north side of Detroit, and we're really about to expand. We about to really be kings of Detroit. Like, let's celebrate. Lamar's not in our way anymore. Lamar's gone because he's been terrorizing us for a little minute. So it was like, no, don't worry about that. And Terry's looking at him like, man, you crazy. You just killed somebody that everybody know that you beefing with. All eyes is pointed on you, and you talking about expanding. Like, you ain't thinking, you ain't seeing it. So Terry at the end is like, I can't mess with you. I can't mess with you. And Meech is like, man, you ain't, they be down to me. We about to really be kings. And that's where it leaves off. It's basically, you just know how Meech impacted a lot, but we haven't gotten there yet. That's why I said, I'm like, I love this, because it's just centered right now in Detroit, but you're about to see Meech's rise as far as from LA, Houston, and definitely Atlanta. Meech's rise, empire expanded everywhere. So that's why I was telling myself, I'm like, these, and even at the end with Terry and his dad telling him about the car business, that's where they really make their mark. Man, you could put a whole bunch of, dope in a car. It's going to get real intricate, because everybody was telling about the little stash spots in their car. And at the end, where B. Mickey gets, finally shoots and kills Kato, which he really had feelings for, he really loved. And he did it because of loyalty, because and Meech was really right. It was like, man, if it ain't now, she's going to get you later. Trust me. If a chick's like that, they're going to get you later. And B. Mickey's really just kind of like, man, I cannot believe this. Then ends up getting put over by the detective. The detective finds his stash spot where he kept the gun, where he eventually killed 2 people. So you got 2 bodies on that gun, and now you about to get pinned with murder, unless you rat on Meech. So I was like, man, this is going to get interesting, because I remember I seen a YouTube interview where B. Mickey's still alive. He's not named B. Mickey, but it's based on somebody, and he's still alive. So I'm telling myself, I can't wait to watch this, because I want to see what goes down. I'm here for it. I give this season a 10 out of 10. This kept me really intrigued. Something different from Power, but at the same time felt like Power. But it's based on a true story, so you get to see how intricate the dope game is, because we already got a good taste of it with Power. That's why I'm here for it. So, you guys enjoyed my review, season 1 of BMF on Starz. Subscribe to my channel. Post, comment down below, and like the video. It's your boy, D. Dyson. Peace.